there's something that's going on in between here. Um, and I worked a little bit out earlier, just to sometimes I look a few steps ahead to see if I'm on the right path. So we could do that now. Um, so I like this form, Control C, V, and then we're gonna just kind of figure it out. I think we want the muscle to connect from the palm up to the index finger, base of the index finger. So this is a weird position to work from. I probably should just make it more, let me do that. Control A, Z, where's the front? Front, top, how'd that get to be the top? We want, okay. So, yeah, it's getting a little confusing, so let's, whoa. All right, global. All right, that's the top. We don't want that to be the front, probably that the front, right? Front, right, top. I don't know if that's going to help us or not. Right. I'm going to lock that. Rotate. Probably, yeah, it's still in a weird position where I'm not used to the way it's oriented. Mm, let's see. There's a way to get this to really work. Like this form kind of works here. So this form should be more on the inside. Um, maybe if I change the dimension of it a little bit. Uh, okay, so there's something there we can work with, but we need to add more information, I think. And some of it has to do with maybe the fingers are working okay. Um, maybe we could live with that. But I think he's got the bones sometimes, the bones in the back of the hand showing, definitely sometimes the tendons do. Here's the transverse arch, if I didn't talk about that earlier. This is just silly to me. Proportions are beautiful form of the thumb. We'll come back to that for that reason. You know, I love the way he thinks about that. But he's got, you can see the tendons here that go over the bones. So we'll get something like that in place. Maybe we'll look at that now. Let's see. Control all. He consistently sculpts the right hand, it seems. That's why we'll sculpt it, and then when we're done, we'll turn it into a left hand, and I'll show you why that's important. Top, front. This is still hard for me to. Maybe you want that to be the front. Okay, so I'll probably move those fingers around again. So maybe we're just repeating this form right here. So take this one, Control C, V, probably scale it up, put it in place a little bit here. I think I might like to add a sphere for the back of the wrist where everything, all the tendons come to that place. They kind of move all towards that same place, and then you have a form here. So maybe it's good to add that form first. Yeah, I'm struggling with the orientation. Sometimes I do. For something like this, it's I'm not sure what the right. I think it's just there's nothing you could do about it. So that kind of helps right there, I think. Maybe it should be a narrow form. Like that. Then over here we'd have some bones from the ulna, the radius on the other side. Let's see, we want this to be thinner because it's more, we're really thinking about a form that's on the back of the hand. So let's see if we could do that. Yeah. Probably bring that up a little bit. Okay, so it's not horrible. See what we can do about that. I'm going to lock on it so that I don't lose it. I'm making it a longer form. Maybe it doesn't need to be that long. Okay, so let's copy that, put it over. This is probably something we should have done with the fingers. Might have been easier at that level, but that's not a problem right now. So okay. Control C. Sorry, I'm not talking. I think you see what I'm doing though. Alright, so let's do one more of these over here. Oh, I don't like whatever I did. Alright. Okay, so this is kind of important, I think. This does give you a sense of structure, and it's important that these are straight. This is a good way to sculpt it, regardless of however you sculpt the hand. I've seen online people do hands, and they'll sculpt this part, and this part is like noodles. It just curves all over the place. It's like, you know, that can't be right. Just look at the back of your hand. Those tendons are cables. They're straight cables. They're not necessarily, they're not noodles, okay? And they're also going over bone. So if you're able to see the bone is not a noodle either. So these are forms that give you structure. And once you make them into curvaceous noodles, you've lost your structure. So this part has to be unyielding in terms of its straightness, if you can get it that way. So, and this is an easier way to get to it than any other method for sculpting digitally, I'll tell you that. So, but yeah, for some reason, and this probably doesn't need to be up as much. Let's try to move this around a little bit. So it just looks a little, that's not too bad.